Europe, a continent steeped in history, culture, and breathtaking natural beauty. From ancient ruins to fairy tale castles, bustling cities to serene landscapes, Europe offers some of the most incredible destinations for travelers. Today, we're exploring the top 30 UNESCO sites, beautiful places, and iconic wonders in Europe. Get ready for a journey through history, art, and nature. The Eiffel Tower is more than just a symbol of Paris. It's a symbol of romance and travel itself. Completed in 1889 for the World's Fair, it was initially criticized by many for its bold industrial design. But today, it stands as one of the most visited monuments in the world. Standing at 330 meters tall, the Eiffel Tower offers stunning views of the Parisian skyline. You can visit 3 levels, each offering panoramic views, with the top level accessed by a glass-walled elevator. Insider tip: if you want to avoid the crowds, visit early in the morning or late at night. And for a truly magical experience, be sure to catch the tower sparkling at night, every hour on the hour. Step back into ancient Rome with a visit to the Colosseum. This massive amphitheater, built in 80 AD, could hold up to 80,000 spectators. It was the stage for gladiatorial battles, animal hunts, and even mock sea battles when the arena would be flooded. Over the centuries, the Colosseum has withstood earthquakes and looting, yet it remains one of the most iconic structures from the Roman Empire. When visiting, be sure to book tickets in advance. Lines can be long. Pro tip: for a special experience, book a night tour when the Colosseum is dramatically lit and the crowds are smaller. High above the city of Athens stands the Acropolis, a testament to the glory of ancient Greece. The centerpiece, the Parthenon, was built in the 5th century BC as a temple to Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. The Acropolis was not just a religious site, but also the heart of Athenian politics and culture. Today, it's one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world. The climb to the top can be steep, so wear comfortable shoes and bring water, especially during the hot summer months. Insider tip: visit early in the morning to beat the heat and crowds, and enjoy breathtaking views of the city below. Mysterious and awe-inspiring, Stonehenge is one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments. Built over 4,000 years ago, this circle of massive stones has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. Was it a burial site, a solar calendar, or a place of worship? No one knows for sure. Each stone weighs up to 25 tons, and the engineering feat of moving and arranging them still baffles experts. Stonehenge is best visited during the solstices when the sun aligns perfectly with the stones, but be prepared for large crowds. For a quieter visit, book a special inner circle tour that lets you walk among the stones before or after public hours. Fairy tales come to life at Neuschwanstein Castle, one of the most photographed castles in the world. Built in the 19th century by King Ludwig II of Bavaria, this romantic fairy tale castle is perched high in the Bavarian Alps. Its stunning towers and picturesque setting were the inspiration for Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle. Inside, the castle is as lavish as it is beautiful, with opulent rooms and views over the surrounding countryside. Be sure to book your tickets in advance, as Neuschwanstein is one of Germany's most popular attractions. Pro tip: for the best views, hike to the nearby Marienbrücke Bridge, which offers a breathtaking panorama of the castle and the gorge below. A masterpiece of modernist architecture, the Sagrada Familia is Antoni Gaudi's most famous work and one of Barcelona's top attractions. Construction of this monumental basilica began in 1882 and is still ongoing, with an expected completion date in the 2030s. Its design is a fusion of Gothic and Art Nouveau styles, with soaring spires and incredibly detailed facades. The interior is equally breathtaking, with colorful stained glass windows casting vibrant light onto the stone pillars. To fully appreciate Gaudi's vision, take the elevator up one of the towers for a panoramic view of Barcelona. Pro tip: buy your tickets online in advance, as the lines can be long, especially during peak season. Venice, the floating city, is unlike any other place on Earth. Built on a series of islands connected by canals and bridges, Venice is a city of history, art, and romance. The Grand Canal, lined with palaces and churches, is the city's main thoroughfare, and the best way to explore it is by gondola or water taxi. At the heart of Venice is St. Mark's Square, home to the magnificent St. Mark's Basilica and the iconic Campanile. Insider tip: to avoid the crowds, visit Venice in the early morning or late evening and explore the quieter neighborhoods away from the main tourist areas. Also, be sure to try a traditional Venetian spritz as you watch the sunset over the lagoon. The Tower of London has played many roles throughout its nearly 1,000-year history. A royal palace, a fortress, and a notorious prison. Built by William the Conqueror in 1066, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is one of the most iconic landmarks in London. The tower is most famous for housing the crown jewels, a dazzling collection of regalia still used in royal ceremonies. Visitors can also explore the medieval White Tower, the Bloody Tower, and the Tower Green, where many famous executions took place, including that of Anne Boleyn. Fun fact: the tower is also home to the legendary ravens, and according to superstition, the kingdom will fall if they ever leave. Pro tip: arrive early for the Beefeater tour to hear the tower's fascinating history and legends from the official guardians of the site. The Palace of Versailles, a symbol of absolute monarchy, is one of the most opulent palaces in Europe. Originally a hunting lodge for King Louis XIII, Versailles was transformed by his son, Louis XIV, into a grand palace that would reflect the glory of his reign. The palace's Hall of Mirrors, with its 357 mirrors, is a dazzling centerpiece, while the expansive gardens feature elaborate fountains, sculptures, and manicured lawns. Versailles is also known for its smaller palaces such as the Petit Trianon and the Queen's Hamlet, a rustic retreat for Marie Antoinette. Be sure to visit the gardens during the musical fountain shows, when the fountains are choreographed to classical music. Pro tip: plan to spend a full day here, as the palace and gardens are vast, and buy your tickets online to skip the long entry lines. Mont Saint-Michel, Normandy, France. Rising dramatically from the sea, Mont Saint-Michel is a medieval abbey and village built on a rocky island in Normandy. During high tide, the island is completely surrounded by water, while at low tide, you can walk across the sand to reach it. The abbey, built in the 8th century, is a stunning example of Gothic architecture and offers panoramic views of the surrounding bay. As you wander the narrow cobblestone streets, you'll feel like you've stepped back in time. The tides around Mont Saint-Michel are some of the highest in Europe, so be sure to check the tide schedule before your visit. Insider tip: for the best experience, stay overnight on the island and explore early in the morning or late in the evening when the day trippers have left. A Leaning Tower of Pisa, Pisa, Italy. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is one of Europe's most famous architectural quirks. Built in the 12th century as the bell tower for Pisa's cathedral, the tower began to tilt due to unstable foundation soil even before construction was completed. Over the centuries, numerous efforts have been made to stabilize it, but today, its tilt is part of its charm. Climbing the 294 steps to the top offers fantastic views of the city and the nearby Piazza dei Miracoli. Fun fact, the tower's lean is about 4 degrees, and while it's safe to visit, it continues to shift slightly over time. Insider tip, book your tickets online to avoid the lines and take a stroll around the piazza to see the beautiful cathedral and baptistry. Santorini, Greece. Santorini, with its whitewashed houses and sapphire blue domes overlooking the Aegean Sea, is one of the most romantic destinations in Europe. Formed by a volcanic eruption over 3,000 years ago, the island is famous for its dramatic caldera views and stunning sunsets. Visitors flock to the village of Oia to watch the sun dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. Santorini is also known for its unique volcanic beaches, such as Red Beach and Kamari, and its ancient ruins at Akrotiri. Pro tip: avoid the summer crowds by visiting in the shoulder seasons of spring or fall, and be sure to try the local white wine made from Assyrtiko grapes, which thrive in the volcanic soil. The Alhambra, perched atop a hill in Granada, is a magnificent example of Moorish architecture and one of Spain's most visited landmarks. This sprawling palace and fortress complex dates back to the 13th century and was the last stronghold of the Moors before they were expelled from Spain in 1492. The Alhambra's intricate stucco work, arabesques, and courtyards, particularly the famous Court of the Lions, are stunning examples of Islamic artistry. The General Life Gardens, with their fountains and shaded walkways, offer a peaceful retreat from the palace's grandeur. Fun fact, the name Alhambra means the red one in Arabic due to the reddish color of the fortress walls. Pro tip, tickets to the Alhambra sell out quickly, so book well in advance, and don't miss the breathtaking views of Granada from the Nasrid palaces. Dubrovnik's Old Town, often called the Pearl of the Adriatic, is one of the best preserved medieval cities in the world. Its impressive city walls, which stretch nearly 2 kilometers, offer stunning views of the sea and the red-tiled rooftops below. The Straton, the city's main street, is lined with historic buildings, churches, and charming cafes. Dubrovnik's Old Town was heavily damaged during the Croatian War of Independence, but has since been meticulously restored. Fun fact, Dubrovnik's medieval walls became famous worldwide as the filming location for King's Landing in Game of Thrones. Insider tip, walk the city walls early in the morning or late afternoon to avoid the heat and crowds, and be sure to take a boat trip to nearby Lochram Island for a peaceful escape. Plitvice Lakes National Park is a natural wonder that will take your breath away. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is home to a series of 16 terraced lakes connected by cascading waterfalls, all surrounded by lush forests. Wooden footbridges meander through the park, allowing visitors to walk over the crystal-clear waters and experience the serenity of the park up close. The striking turquoise and green colors of the lakes are due to the mineral content in the water. Fun fact, the park is home to rare wildlife including wolves, bears, and lynx. Pro tip, the park can get crowded during peak season, so arrive early to enjoy the tranquil beauty and wear comfortable shoes as there's plenty of walking to do. Vatican City may be the smallest independent state in the world, but it's packed with some of the most extraordinary art and architecture on the planet. At its heart is St. Peter's Basilica, one of the holiest sites in Christianity and home to Michelangelo's stunning Pietà. The Vatican museums house a vast collection of art collected by popes over the centuries, including the iconic Sistine Chapel ceiling, painted by Michelangelo. Fun fact, Vatican City has its own postal service, bank, and even a radio station. Pro tip: to avoid the long lines, book a skip-the-line tour of the Vatican museums and Sistine Chapel. Don't forget to climb to the top of St. Peter's Dome for unbeatable views of Rome. The Cinque Terre, or Five Lands, is a collection of 5 colorful villages perched on cliffs overlooking the Ligurian Sea. Each village, Monterosso, Vernazza, Corniglia, Manarola, and Riomaggiore, has its own unique charm, but all share stunning coastal views and a relaxed pace of life. The area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and offers fantastic hiking along the Sentiero Azzurro Trail, which connects the villages. Fun fact: cars are not allowed in the Cinque Terre, so visitors rely on the train or hiking paths to get around. Pro tip: stay overnight in one of the villages to experience the quiet charm after the day trippers have left, and be sure to sample the local seafood and pesto, a regional specialty. Edinburgh is a city of contrasts, where the medieval Old Town meets the elegant Georgian architecture of the New Town. Edinburgh Castle, perched atop an extinct volcano, dominates the skyline and offers panoramic views of the city. The Royal Mile, which runs from the castle to the Palace of Holyrood House, is lined with historic buildings, pubs, and shops. Don't miss climbing Arthur's Seat, another extinct volcano, for stunning views of the city and the surrounding countryside. Fun fact: Edinburgh is known as the Athens of the North for its neoclassical architecture and intellectual history. Pro tip: visit in August during the Edinburgh Festival for world-class performances, and be sure to stop at one of the traditional pubs for a taste of haggis and whiskey. (19) Fjords of Norway, Norway. Norway's fjords are some of the most dramatic natural landscapes in Europe, carved by glaciers during the Ice Age. The Geirangerfjord and Nærøyfjord, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, are among the most famous, with towering cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and crystal-clear waters. Cruising through the fjords is a breathtaking experience, offering panoramic views of nature's grandeur. The fjords are also home to picturesque villages and traditional farms that cling to the steep mountainsides. Fun fact: the word fjord comes from Old Norse and means a narrow inlet of water. Pro tip: for the best views, take a fjord cruise or hike up to one of the many scenic viewpoints, such as the famous Preikestolen, also known as Pulpit Rock. (20) Prague Old Town, Czech Republic. Prague's Old Town, with its Gothic spires, cobblestone streets, and medieval charm, feels like something out of a fairy tale. The Old Town Square is the heart of the city, where you'll find the famous astronomical clock, the oldest working clock of its kind in the world. Charles Bridge, adorned with statues of saints, crosses the Vltava River and offers beautiful views of the city's skyline, especially at sunrise. Fun fact: Prague is known as the City of 100 Spires due to its numerous church towers. Pro tip: visit the Old Town early in the morning or late at night to avoid the crowds and take a walk along the Vltava River for stunning views of Prague Castle. (21) Cliffs of Moher, Ireland. The Cliffs of Moher, rising over 200 meters above the Atlantic Ocean, offer one of the most breathtaking views in Ireland. These dramatic cliffs stretch for about 14 kilometers along the western coast and are a haven for bird life, including puffins and seagulls. On a clear day, you can see as far as the Aran Islands and even the mountains of Connemara. Fun fact, the cliffs have appeared in several films, including Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Pro tip, visit the cliffs in the early morning or late afternoon to avoid the largest crowds and enjoy the stunning colors of the setting sun. Meteora is a place where spirituality and nature come together in breathtaking harmony. Located in central Greece, these towering rock pillars are home to a series of monasteries, many of which were built in the 14th century by monks seeking solitude and a closer connection to God. The word meteora means suspended in the air, a fitting description for these monasteries that seem to float above the valleys below. At its peak, there were 24 monasteries, but today only 6 are still active, offering visitors a glimpse into the monastic way of life. Fun fact, these monasteries were once only accessible by rope ladders and winches. Pro tip, wear comfortable shoes for the climb and try to visit early in the day to avoid the heat and crowds. Versailles is the epitome of royal opulence. Built by Louis XIV in the 17th century, this magnificent palace served as the seat of the French monarchy until the Revolution. The Hall of Mirrors, with its 357 mirrors reflecting the sunlight from the windows, is the crown jewel of the palace's interior. The surrounding gardens are just as impressive, with geometrically arranged flower beds, fountains, and sculptures that stretch as far as the eye can see. Fun fact, the Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I, was signed in the Hall of Mirrors. Pro tip, be sure to visit the Petit Trianon, Marie Antoinette's private retreat, for a quieter experience. And if you're visiting during the summer, don't miss the musical fountain shows in the gardens. The Amalfi Coast is one of Italy's most stunning stretches of coastline, with its pastel-colored villages perched on steep cliffs overlooking the Tyrrhenian Sea. Towns like Positano, Amalfi, and Ravello are famous for their beauty, history, and charm. Winding coastal roads offer jaw-dropping views at every turn, but be prepared for a thrilling drive. The Amalfi Coast is also home to lush lemon groves, and you can't visit without tasting limoncello, the region's signature lemon liqueur. Fun fact, Ravello's Villa Ruffolo was the inspiration for Wagner's opera Parsifal. Pro tip, visit in May or September for fewer crowds and mild weather, and take a boat tour to truly appreciate the dramatic cliffs from the water. The Brandenburg Gate is one of Berlin's most iconic landmarks and a symbol of both the city's turbulent history and its reunification. Built in the late 18th century, this neoclassical gate once marked the entrance to the city. During the Cold War, it stood in no man's land between East and West Berlin, a powerful symbol of division. Today, it represents unity and peace. The gate is adorned with a statue of the Quadriga, a chariot drawn by 4 horses, which was famously stolen by Napoleon in 1806 and later returned to Berlin. Fun fact, the Brandenburg Gate was the site of Ronald Reagan's famous Mr. Gorbachev, "Tear down this wall" speech in 1987. Pro tip, visit at dusk when the gate is beautifully illuminated and take a stroll down Unter den Linden, Berlin's historic boulevard. Schönbrunn Palace, once the summer residence of the Habsburg emperors, is a stunning example of Baroque architecture and opulence. With over 1,400 rooms, The palace is a testament to the wealth and power of the Austrian monarchy. Visitors can explore the lavish state apartments, including the famous Hall of Mirrors, where Mozart performed as a child. Outside, the vast gardens feature perfectly manicured lawns, fountains, and the Gloriette, a grand archway that offers panoramic views of Vienna. Fun fact: Schönbrunn Palace was the birthplace of Emperor Franz Joseph, who ruled Austria for 68 years. Pro tip: plan to spend several hours here, there's so much to see. And be sure to visit the Tiergarten Schönbrunn, the world's oldest zoo, located on the palace grounds. Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance, is a city steeped in art, history, and culture. The historic center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and home to some of the world's most famous masterpieces, including Michelangelo's David and Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. The Florence Cathedral, with its iconic dome designed by Brunelleschi, dominates the skyline and offers incredible views from the top. The Uffizi Gallery, housed in a former palace, contains one of the most important collections of Renaissance art in the world. Fun fact: the Ponte Vecchio is the only bridge in Florence that survived World War II, thanks to an order from Hitler. Pro tip: book tickets to the Uffizi Gallery and Accademia in advance to skip the long lines, and don't miss a sunset view from Piazzale Michelangelo. The Giant's Causeway, located on the northern coast of Northern Ireland, is a natural wonder steeped in myth and legend. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is made up of around 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, formed by volcanic activity over 60 million years ago. According to legend, the giant Finn McCool built the causeway as a bridge to Scotland to challenge a rival. The unique hexagonal shapes of the columns create a mesmerizing landscape that draws visitors from around the world. Fun fact: the tallest columns reach up to 12 meters in height. Pro tip: wear sturdy shoes, as the rocks can be slippery, and consider taking the scenic clifftop walk for stunning views of the coastline. The Blue Lagoon is one of Iceland's most famous attractions, offering a unique spa experience in a geothermal setting. Located in a lava field near Reykjavik, the lagoon's mineral-rich, milky blue waters are naturally heated by the Earth's geothermal energy. The water's high silica content is said to have healing properties, making it a popular destination for relaxation and wellness. Visitors can soak in the warm waters while enjoying the surreal landscape of black lava rock and steam rising from the lagoon. Fun fact: the Blue Lagoon was created accidentally in the 1970s as a result of runoff from a nearby geothermal power plant. Pro tip: book your visit in advance as slots fill up quickly. And don't forget to try the silica mud mask for a rejuvenating skin treatment. Lake Bled, with its crystal-clear waters and fairy tale island, is one of the most picturesque destinations in Slovenia. The small island in the center of the lake is home to the Church of the Assumption, which can be reached by traditional wooden boats known as pletna. Legend has it that ringing the church bell will grant you a wish. Overlooking the lake is Bled Castle, perched on a cliff, offering stunning views of the surrounding Julian Alps. Fun fact: Lake Bled is also famous for its Bled cream cake, a delicious local dessert. Pro tip: take a walk or bike ride around the lake's 6-kilometer path, and if you're feeling adventurous, hike up to the Oystrika viewpoint for the best panoramic views of the lake and island. Nestled between the serene waters of Hallstatter Sea and the towering Dockstein Alps, Hallstatt is a picturesque village that seems to have leaped out of a fairy tale. Known for its charming houses, scenic landscapes, and rich history, Hallstatt is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that has captivated travelers for centuries. The village's history dates back to prehistoric times, with the Hallstatt culture being one of the earliest known Iron Age civilizations in Europe. Visitors can explore the salt mine, one of the oldest in the world, and take a funicular ride to the skywalk for breathtaking views of the village and lake below. Fun fact: the iconic view of Hallstatt from across the lake is often considered one of the most photographed spots in Austria. Pro tip: visit during the early morning or late afternoon to avoid crowds and experience the village's tranquil beauty at its best. From the ancient wonders of Segovia's aqueduct to the mystical beauty of Cappadocia, Europe's iconic landmarks and UNESCO sites offer an unforgettable journey through time, culture, and natural beauty. Each destination tells a unique story, inviting travelers to explore, experience, and be inspired by the richness of Europe's heritage. We hope this adventure through the top 30 wonders of Europe has sparked your wanderlust. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more travel inspiration. Which of these incredible sites will you visit next? Let us know in the comments and see you on the next one.